or or anything that was kind of really tangible. It was about this omnipotent being that God is here. And so I know that was my kind of first experience about love. When we got home, the talk around love was, you ain't gonna never really understand what love is until you get older. And I was like, okay, you don't have to be violent about it. I just want to, I just needed to understand, why it is you don't let me like him. I just called him my boyfriend. I'm fine. That's what we do. So, if your first experience about talking about love was outside of the home, I think it makes an impact.
But you do.
Right, I don't know.
But it could make a huge impact inside the home as well.
It's supposed to make an impact inside the home. If we're talking about something that says, the verse says to love your neighbor as you love yourself, clearly we have to learn how to love ourselves first in order to learn how to love our neighbors. And it is our parents or our guardians or our family's responsibility to talk to us about love first. But that's just not always the case, because how many of you find love a topic that's easy to discuss? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you think it's easy to talk about.
Then come on and talk.
Right.
And see, I think I'm finding out on this mission that I'm on that love is a taboo. The topic of love is a taboo. And as you read through the chapters, and we're going to get deeper, I'm going to have you read chapter 2 in a few seconds. We don't talk about love. Did you have something?
Well, here's the thing. And when I was little, I was kind of mischievous. So my grandmother told me that she spanked me because she loved me. I told her,
oh, that's a good one.
I told her I need her to love me better.
Did you guys hear that?
You need to love you less.
How many of you got a spanking because your grandmama and your mama loved you?
I'm one of those.
Yeah, I did this because I love you. Really? That don't feel a lot like love to me.
Right.
So by the time I had in my home, when I was growing up, I grew up kind of in the home with all my family, like all my grandmother's 7 children.
Oh wow, 7 children in the home, okay.
Yeah, so by the time anybody had said that they loved me, I'd seen it already.
Okay.
And so everybody was showing love all the time.
Okay.
And then by the time they had, I'm the baby in the house, I get all the love. So by that time, I had seen a good amount of love by the time anybody had said it, or I could understand anybody saying it.
Got it. That's interesting. Very interesting. I had online. Online, you can also respond to anything that I ask. I'll get my phone so that I can see what's coming through as well. The conversation is open to those online as well as those here in the video. So read chapter 2. Chapter 2 is love defined. We might just go straight into chapter 3.
Okay. What is the definition of love? I think we're all trying to find love based on our experiences from birth. I feel that we are coming into this world knowing love from our conception, which is from the darkness of the universe. I think individuals find themselves loving babies due to the pure fact that they lost their own innocence of love and are appreciating the experience and interaction from a place of innocence. The essence of a child's love has no speech. They receive and express love from their eyes and with their touch. We go through life seeking something that we are longing to remember. Our journey is to return back to allowing our senses to guide us to where true love resides. When you look up the medical definition of love, it is amazing that just in the Google search alone, you can define death, stress, obesity, addiction, anxiety, but the medical definition of love is somewhat undefined. So can I assume that love is the opposite of all that ails you? Still, I'm looking for the detailed definition of love. Further in my search, I found an article by Neil Burton, MD, in which he stated there are 7 types of love. The 7 types of love are loosely based on classical readings, especially of Plato and Aristotle, and on J.A. Lee's 1973 book, Colors of Love. Are these definitions of love based on classical readings? Have there been more research to prove these types of love? I will answer that in my second book. This article by Dr. Burton goes on to say that the 7 types of love are the following. Eros, it is a sexual or passionate love, and is the type of most akin to our modern construct of romantic love. Philia, a love that describes a friendship or the sharing of goodwill. Storge, or familial love, is similar to philia, pertaining to the love between a parent and their child. It differs from most philia in that it tends, especially with younger children, to be unilateral or asymmetrical. Most of us have heard of agape love. According to this article, this is universal love, such as the love for strangers, nature, or God. Ludus is playful or uncommitted love. This type of love involves a form of teasing, dancing, or more overt flirting, seducing, and conjugating. The focus is on fun and sometimes also on conquest with no strings attached. This sounds like a polyamorous type of relationships. Pragma is a kind of practical love founded on reason or duty of one's longer term interests. Okay. Here Neil states that sex takes a back seat. This type of emotional love is what arranged marriages are built on. Then there is Felucia, a self-love. The article states that this could be good or bad, and I agree. There are 2 kinds of selfishness in this world. There is a selfish nature that takes and drains the energy from others. Then there is a selfish nature that is giving. Whereas I give to myself, I'm able to give to others. Again, we will explore more of this later.
I'm currently doing some research on why people actually get into relationships. A lot of us how many people, and I'll do this, I'll put out the question. How many people have been told that getting married is the objective to life? Is the objective to life? Like you're raised, say it again?
Like it's the goal.
Like it's your goal. Is to get married and have children. How many?
Yeah, we were told that's one of the goals.
That's one of the, you have them?
Right, it's one of the goals that you should get married and have kids and.
It's not the goal, but it's one of them.
One of them.
Right.
Do you feel pressured as a man to get married?
Pressure?
Yeah. Do you feel pressured as a woman to get married? Do anyone feel that they are pressured to get married based on their gender? That's a no?
No. I don't think
That's
marriage. I don't know. I'm a Southern girl. The South is a little different because for us, you can see a girl that's not married and it's fine. But you see a girl that's married with no kids and people are like, "What's wrong with you?"
Right.
I don't know if that plays out here, but it definitely does in the South. Right.
Yeah. So regionally, it can play out. She's saying that down south, there's a pressure. If you get to a certain age, why aren't you married with children? Is that what you're saying?
Not even married with children, married or with children.
Oh wow, married or with children. You should have a child by a certain age, or you have both.
Yeah.
So that's a Southern kind of culture.
Yeah, well, kind of sort of. I'm not saying it's like hardcore like that, but there's definitely it's more pressure down there than it is in here.
Right.
Yeah, there are quite a few cultures that are like that. You're going to be such and such years old. Where's the husband? Where's the kids? Where's the... And it's like...
Right, it's looked upon as an achievement.
Yes.
Definitely something that you have to...
Right, education, marriage, and children are looked upon as achievements before there's ever really conversation centered around how you love yourself, how you're expressing love to yourself, and have you learned, what you need to know about yourself, which, I personally think is important before you even talk about marriage, because how do you choose the right partner before really knowing about yourself?
Correct.
You're going to choose a partner based on what your parents tell you or based on who you think you are. And then you're in the middle of something where, as you're growing and evolving and changing, the partner that you chose might not necessarily be ready for that type of evolution. And now there's a whole new emotional
Well, that also,
uproar to go through.
Right, because you're pressured, you're marrying the wrong person because you're rushing into marriage.
Right.
I see that a lot.
and the thing is, are you even taught how to find the right type of person to marry?
Not always.
A lot of times, no.
Yeah, no. It's a guessing game.
It's just experience.
Right.
Experience.
But should it be? I don't think it should be. One of the things that I like about arranged marriages is that the parents are looking at who is most compatible for you and how are they going to help your legacy in the long run.
I think the key word there is legacy.
Legacy is a big thing for me. Legacy is huge. And if we were focusing when we're making our choices on partners and who we're spending time with and who our friends are, if we're really looking at, is this something that's good for my legacy? And as the friendship evolves and grows, is this something that continues to be good for my legacy, or is it something that I need to let go?
So let me ask you, as a person who is into or sees arranged marriages as being something worthwhile, I will say.
No, I think that it works for some, it clearly works for some cultures. I think that it has good parts.
Okay, it has good part. It's like socialism and capitalism. All right, so let me ask you this. Do you think your parents know you as well as you know yourself?
My parents absolutely did not know me.
So if you were in a culture
Right.
where they're arranging, do you think you would actually find love in that arrangement? Because the key word there is arrangement. So you're saying that love can be arranged.
No, I'm saying that partnership and marriage can be arranged. I think love is something that's different. Love is something that we're constantly learning as we mature. Love is a maturing thing. Love is something that we're always seeking to find balance about. So I think you mentioned it as a baby, as a person, when we're born, we see love as attention because that's what happens. When you're a baby, they're giving you all this attention. And you cry, they come running. You're hungry, they feed you. They want to play with you and let grandma show up and it's all over. You get what you want, and aunties, and you get a lot of attention. And then as you grow, you're still seeking attention, and then you hear it's a bad thing. Don't dress like that because you're going to get attention. And don't talk to why are you doing all of that stuff because you're looking for attention. Of course I'm looking for attention. That's what you taught me to do from the time I got here. So when I think that conversations need to be had more, because there's no explanation for when you continuously move from baby to toddler to adolescence and so on. This is why you don't want to continue to seek attention. This is why we gave you attention. It's because we love you and we welcomed you into this family. You are a new link to our legacy. You're going to carry our future. You're going to carry my name. But here are the changes. Here's what you need. Here's what you need to be doing now as you mature.
Okay, that's very interesting. I cannot wait till we go through this because you have mentioned everything that I feel we have misconstrued love to be. A baby is naturally loved in its purest state. We attend to the child because of its needs, but they love you back unconditionally. Their love is through their smile, through their touch. The cry is saying, I'm hungry, I'm wet, I'm uncomfortable. And the love that you have for your child is to take care of their needs. And so that's the giving aspect. And they breathe back with the aspect of, thank you. They have no voice, and love has no voice. It only has expression. And it's based in that experience that you're giving that child that they express back to you what you gave to them. I'm gonna drop it there.
I was about to say it now. There's a level of maturity that you're not discussing, because the end game or the goal after doing all of that for the child and for the babies, so that the baby can be comfortable. The baby just wants to be comfortable.
So do we.
Right, exactly. Which is the point where maturity comes in. When you're not maturing, if you're still just looking to be comfortable without understanding that you also have something to give and to return, then we can say that you are still an id and you haven't reached the ego and superego stages.
Depends on how you're looking at ego and superego. It could be the Freudian or it could be the holistic.
Okay. Okay.
Chapter 3. Oh.
Chapter 3, the lies of love. Have we been lied to by various doctrines and false teachings? From the many images that are streamed to our senses, to religious false teachings, interpretations, and revisions, to construe parental guidance that say love should be achieved through external pleasure. The Tao and the Zen and the Buddhists believe that life is a flow of energy and love is a practice. In understanding the law or the laws of this universe, we can exercise love in a balanced state of being. Because of the lies that we haven't talked about, our lives and our existence cannot gain the true essence and the true power of what love has to offer. We are seeking that knowledge internally through external elements that really don't foster any type of expansion. What slows us down in gaining what we rightfully deserve. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Matthew 6:33. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. For whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. 1 John 4:8. As we ponder the scriptures, I ask, where is love?
I had to go to the Bible for a lot of my comfort zone writing. I was raised a Christian. Not that I don't. I was going to say practice, but I practice it on a daily basis. But I practice it from reading between the lines of what is usually spoken at the pulpit. I am no longer a everyday Sunday going Christian, but I am a practicing Christian in terms of love and loving everyone and loving all. I believe in the all. And when you understand that the kingdom of God is within you, and you are a reflection, which is what it says you are. If you look at yourself in the mirror, I'm going to step down a little bit.
Don't start preaching. I see that look.
see it coming, right? Because it's something that one of my friends is here, and she does something that I think is miraculous. She feeds the hungry. And she feeds them, and the reason why she does what she does is because people are hungry every day. Every day somebody is going without eating. And I have something on Facebook that's called the Church Challenge. Because I come from a church, excuse me for those that might be watching, that was not community-based. And my parents being the missionary and a deacon, we were out every Sunday going to a nursing home or visiting someone or feeding someone. So I was raised right. And I could not understand why the rest of the world who calls themselves something from a religious standpoint did not do the same. So I said there's something wrong with the doctrine or that which is teaching the doctrine. And as individuals, if you, like Mimi said, love every day, you give every day. And when we see what's going on in certain religious homes, and nobody is going and fighting against those injustices and crimes within that community, then I say the world is broken, which is why I want to leverage love. So give just because, I'm going to shout her out, it's like Toya Parker, she's sitting right there. This is a woman that's going out every 3 months and feeding. She fed, 576 people. Prior to that, she fed 200, and in a few months, she's going to be feeding another 607 people. Double that. You can find information on her website. I'm going to shout it out. Unlockyourdreams.info if you want to give and if you want to love. Basically, it's not even giving, it's really loving if you want to love. But in my book, there was a lot of quotes of scripture that I use because it actually speaks the pure truth of what we should actually be. If you know who you are, if you are a reflection of your Creator, and I don't care too much whether you're Christian, Buddhist, Taoism, Muslim, because at the end of the day, I was studying, they all say the same thing. Their Creator is love. Their Creator, their God, their Jehovah is love. So there should not be any, it's funny, Christian wars or religious wars. That's an ironic term that we use. And the world is here to divide. And if we unlock that door of division, we would actually see how much we are alike. Which is why I want to have the conversation, because what you're thinking, what Herb is thinking, what Nico is thinking, what these brothers and sisters over here are thinking, are all universal thoughts. But again, we don't have the conversation. We don't have the conversation. And when we start talking and realizing how much we are one with each other, better, and especially in our community. We are people of color who think we are fighting against something that is against us when we are the ones that they are keeping down. Now I'm getting on a platform I don't even want to go to. But I'm going to speak the truth because it's in me. If I look at you, brother, and say that you are God, I am God, then I am looking at my reflection. If I'm looking at my sister and saying you are God, I am God, then I'm looking at my reflection. If I'm looking at you, brother, you, sister, brother, sister, if we are one under the sun, and when I'm hungry, you're hungry. When I'm rich, you're rich. When I'm bold, you're bold. When I'm on fire, you're on fire. And what we think we are against is what they say we are not. And when we believe and have worth in each other, which is where the love really comes from. If I'm loving you, would you in turn not love me?
I'm already loving
Girl! So with that, I'm going to bring it back to the stage. I'm going to drop the mic there and allow Mimi to serenade you with another song with her band, and we'll come back. I skipped the relationship portion of the book, which means you got to buy the book to read it. And you can find more information about this, and for those online, at partthisone.com. That's more information about our love lifestyle movement. This is actually a mission that I'm on. It's a love lifestyle mission. And again, art and entertainment is really part of it. These talks will happen every 3 months. So with that, Mimi, are you ready? Enjoy the show, folks.
with a smile on my face. Jumped out of bed to the shower, dressed, cleaned up my plate, made me some breakfast, toast to a scrambled egg. Grits, grab my feet, grab my purse, grab my jacket off to work, beaming all the way down there. Is it the way you love me, baby? Hey, you. Is it the way you love me, baby? Yeah. 4:30, can't wait to get home. Now, girl, I got something else to do. Why y'all look so bored? Go ahead, really get your groove. You let me get smoked on my heart. Cause tonight my man coming through. Yeah, we gon' have to connect some other day. As much as I like to shake my thing on the dance floor, I got another nasty freaky just right in mind. Tonight, I'm gonna beat the high score. Is it the way you love me, baby? Yeah. Is it the way you love me, baby? Please, is it the way? Is it the way? Sometimes we like the love and stuff. You know, like me, baby. Is it the way you love me, baby? So this is another one of mine. It's called Everything. Hey, so I wrote this song with my sister Mimi Spence when I was 13 because my mom expressed love to us growing up. So this is what I got from watching people, my mama, my sisters, friends, aunties, and uncles, relationships. And I decided I needed everything in my relationship. But anyway. Yeah. I'm caught up in this love affair, wondering what to do about you. Should I keep you with me there, or bring you down when I'm on to love you? Can't you see I want everything? Don't you know? You mean the world to me.
Can't you see? I want you, but it's not fair.
And you don't have the heart to stay with me. Oh, is it wrong? Is it right? The way we carry on. So darling, come and meet me tonight. We'll dance beneath the stars until the break of dawn.
Can't you see? I want everything. Don't you know you mean the world to me? Can't you see? I want you, but it's not fair that you don't have the heart to stay with me. Can't you see? I want everything. Don't you know you mean the world to me? Can't you see? I want you, but it's not fair
That you don't have the heart to stay with me. With me.
One more round of applause, please. I told Mimi I wanted to join the band and play my keys. I can't find them right now. Because they were all my brother's got them. He drove. I was going to get up there and just play my keys. But been around here for a long time. This woman is, she always gets me. I can't wait till she sings my favorite song. Where's my co-host? She forgot. She had a job.
Don't act like you
So I want everybody to know, the night, you all got some puzzles with a number on it?
Yes.
I got some great raffles that are going on. We're going to raffle off the book that's on
We
stage.
have to give some more to some.
Some newcomers?
Yes.
Okay. We also have, I thought it was a dance right there. We're going to be raffling off these flowers up here. I have a $250 business consult, a tarot card reading. We also have, let me see. Oh, there's a woman. I consult. Outside of this, I consult businesses and help them grow through media marketing. Herb says I'm just marketing. And so she's starting a business. Now, how many people want to get healthy? Okay. I'm like, all right, you guys good because you know all the fat you want. You'll be all right.
They're like,
So I have a friend who is and a colleague that is starting a new business. She will veganize any recipe that you have. I realized at the last minute she texted me, she said, no, not 2 recipes, 2 weeks worth of food. So I'm going to rewrite that on whatever it is that you win. So we got 4 of those that we're going to raffle off. And so if you have a number, we'll pick numbers at the end and you'll be able to get that too. So you can send her 2 weeks worth of your recipes of whatever you cook, and she will veganize that for you. And then we have, a book. One thing that I am, I'm a caregiver. I take care of 2 adults that are in their 80s, post dementia, and a workbook for you that will help guide you through that, so that you have all the paperwork and everything that you need filled out prior to that. If you have children that are under the age of 25, get them the workbook and start early, because you don't want to wait. I said that for a reason.
she said she don't need no work.
No. You want to make sure that you have everything in place so that you're not looking for things and working with people that may have dementia that forgot who they are. or forgot what they have. Because you will not get services, I'm telling you now, but we'll slow that time down for you. So that's what we're going to be raffling off at the end of this event, so just stay tuned. So I'm going to allow Cynthia and my colleague, we're standing height to height right now. I love it.
Little thing.
Well, my mother told me that good things come in small
Sitting
packages.
down, right?
Yeah, good things come in small packages. Read chapter 5.
Okay, going over to chapter 5.
The hurt.
Oh my. The hurt. We were taught the fantasies of fairy tales, that love just arrives to save you again. And if you know the universal laws, you can create the love that you seek. Some have lived through this abuse and neglect that have stolen the innocence of their love understanding. I feel that many individuals are seeking a childhood and an innocence of love from others, who they think can replace that loss of past love. Even though I'm in search of a love supreme, I too am seeking the return of a spiritual love on earth. To know love is to understand that love begets love. If you are not love, you cannot receive what you are not, as you are the mirror reflecting your outcome. Pain is nothing but an awareness of what we do not want. When it stings to a point that you can't take it anymore, is when you should be willing to walk the other way. In the Bible, there's a story that shares the lesson on looking back. Looking back will turn an individual into a pillar of salt. A pillar is a non-moving structure, and to be salty brings bitterness as well as illness to the body. In order for Lot's wife to continue to live in her past, it meant that where they were headed would have brought on the same heartache and destructive chaos that they were leaving. Forget where you've been from, a place within your emotions, and create and build anew. A new story that celebrates what you have learned. Apply the lessons of your yesterdays in your current state of being with gratitude and thanksgiving. In other words, turn away from what does not suit you and focus on a future that does. We take those survival skills, those built-up walls of protection, and bring them into our relationships. There again is where lessons are learned. Every relationship can be a space for us to break those walls down in order to get back to our perfected core. There is one thing that I have learned from my first long-term relationship: never to bring expectations about my lover to the table, but to accept everyone from where they are. You cannot compare any individual with another because we're all uniquely made. We come with variables. No two are the same.
How many people have been hurt by love?
Everybody should put their hand up by now. Every hand in the place should go up.
You've been hurt by love? Do you think it still affects you in building relationships with others? Do you think when you're meeting someone new, have you formulated new questions to ask prior to getting deeper into that relationship? How many people are there as well? Where you formed, if you've been hurt from a relationship where you think, or hurt by love, you say it's love that hurt you, have you formulated new questions to ask when moving forward into your next relationship?
Well, I don't think that, even if you form questions to bring you to your next relationship, I don't think that pain from love is ever going to stop. Because if love is growing as you're going to have growing pains. So every time you mature and you learn a new lesson on love, it might not be the same type of pain. It might not be as deep, it might not be as hurtful, but you're going to feel a sting of disappointment because of an expectation that you had. You're going to feel some sort of pain. I don't think that you reach this pinnacle of love where there's just absolutely no more pain. Love is pain because love is growth. Yeah, it takes time. Right, but I don't think there's ever gonna come a point where we go, you know what? I'm feeling kind of love that I've just never heard ever again.
You say
Yes, and risk in itself is a pain.
So define what a risk could be. Like you're saying you have to take a risk.
You just don't know, like, what is gonna happen, right, in the next relationship. But you have to try, at least try, to see, like, you know, what is there, like what you can build on.
Right.
You know, so you have to, so that's where you formulate different questions now, because you have learned from the past, and now you know what you like what you can tolerate. If I can say that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you have to like get that. You have to activate your courage and get back out there. Yeah.
I was talking from experience.
Yeah, I see that. The hand is up, the body's moving forward.
You know what I'm saying? Don't make me stand up.
You gotta leave.
Please don't give
But Miko said it.
Here's the thing. I think when you go back to your initial question, is it love that hurts you, or is it your expectation from them? Because but I'm saying, because love in and of itself, if what we're defining love as is like the pure and the true place, it's not necessarily, and every little thing is the expression of love, and what you expect from that expression.
Yeah.
So love in and of itself didn't hurt you, is what you brought and what you thought versus what was for that person and for you.
I
think when it
To add on to that.
okay.
So no, come here.
So I'm good.
I'm sure. Okay,
We're trying to reiterate here.
You brought up something that I thought was really crucial, and that was expectations, right? Like, are we being hurt by, whatever expectations may have been within the relationship, no matter what kind of relationship it may have been. And what I would add to that is, was the hurt the expectation itself, or was the hurt as a result of the lack of the communication of the expectations? Because a lot of times there are expectations that we have of partners, parents, co-workers, that we never talk about, and then all of a sudden there's this hurt that happens because they didn't do something that you never even told them may have been a deal breaker for you to begin with.
That's
True.
right. That's right.
But you also have the experience of where you did tell them about the expectation,
Absolutely.
and then you were disappointed that they either couldn't or chose not to fulfill
They
it.
were aware and then still.
So it's on both sides where you're going to experience, and it's more than just expectation. It's because it's what your idea of love is. If your idea of love is this one thing, and then you were hurt and disappointed by not receiving that, at some point, either your idea of love is going to evolve and grow, or it's going to stay stagnant where it is, where you're going to keep getting hurt in that way because you're not growing from that experience. Yeah.
Do you have anything else to say?
No, I think I'm all right.
Anyone else have something to add? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
That's why the song "Everything" is what it is, because I want what I deserve. I know I love myself. I learned how to love myself, unconditionally, because of things that have happened to me in my life. And so now that I know what I want, then I need someone strong enough to be able to give it to me. But the song is saying, at 13 years of age, writing this song, I want everything I'm supposed to get from life. I don't want to shortchange myself, and I don't want to shortchange you. But I need you to understand that I know that I want everything. I know that I want all of your love, not just some of it. I need all of it. I don't want your attention.
That's when you realize probably this.
Yeah.
But you in that fine line of love is blind now. You know what I'm saying? So
True.
you continue with that
Or I'm being
relationship.
picky,
Yes.
or I'm an overachiever, or I get those.
Yeah.
But you know what? We experience sometimes, we're always telling someone that they're not the one for us when we haven't become the one for us yet.
That's why you gotta love yourself first.
Right.
There you go.
But some of us don't love ourselves because we don't even know who we are. You know, I've had an experience. I know we're taking over.
No. I want you to go into 6 because that will get us to continue this conversation.
You want me to go there now?
Go there now.
Okay. Let's hit it. Love is considered an emotion, an external stimulation. We were taught to find individuals, things, and to delve into substances that could make us feel good. Love is something that can fall into or fall out of. Love is something that you can find because it is lost or that you are in search of because it is hidden. This type of love that was taught to most is a lie of love. What is love? And these are Corey's words. For me, love is a vibration. It is the original source of life. Love is an action based on the internal definition of self. Love is the consciousness of life source. Love is the existence of the universe, of a galaxy, and of this planet. Love is the essence of abundance within one's life. Love defines the self. You are loved as God is loved, as it is one and the same. Being made in the reflection of the Creator, one then is a creator. A reflection is a mirror of the original. If God is love, then all in our current existence, or all that is and all that is not love, is love. The opposite of love is just the pure absence of love. It can also be the denial of love, as love does not fade or falter. Love cannot disappear or remove itself, for it is the very existence of life. We make love to create love. My acronym for life is, love is forever eternal. It is and will always be. To be, to live, to exist in a place of love can only afford one, the availability of abundance. Love expands. It is a co-creative force between two to procreate and to create a new life. A new life that is forever external. What people define as the spirit or the essence of life is actually the vibration of love. If in the sexual act called making love, then what is made is not love. Okay. It says, if in the sexual act called making love, then what is made is not love.
Okay, there's a typo. I gotta talk to my editor about that. Let me talk about sex for a little bit, because that's where we ended. Well, let me say this. Love is action. Everything in this world moves. So love is also moving. If you understand what all means, it is actually everything. And if source, or God, or Yahweh, or whatever you call your higher power is, it is the aspect of all. In the all, on a physical plane, we have this thing called gender. We have a man and a woman. And those two genders are only energy sources of a vibration that allows things to create. In order to create, you are adding to. You are abundantly wealthy because you're adding to your wealth. Your desires are growths of your mind's thought that manifest something. God creates something on a daily basis. When you complain about the weather, you complain about God. And people don't look at that. Oh, it's raining again. But that's what makes life grow. You are 70% water yourself. So if you don't have water, you shall die. If you don't appreciate the abundance, then what it is, you are destructing. Hate and judgment is part of that destruction. Division is part of that destruction. The energy of the female and the male getting together on a physical plane to create another life is to create another God so that they can expand their existence and expand the evolution not only of life but of creation, which is why supporting our children is what we should be doing, or supporting our lovers is what we should be doing. So love to me is an experience. I come in 100% myself. The knowledge of self, which I can only find in silence, meditation, or if you want to call it prayer. It is your conversation with your higher power to say, I am here today. I am a vessel of you. I currently, in the last year, have been living the allowing life. It's a lifestyle where I allow God to flow through me. Your emotions of hate when it comes to love is your guidance of what doesn't work for you. So when you're meeting that guy, that may have some fake dollars in his pocket. That's an inside joke, folks. And you feel that, this doesn't feel good. When you continue to stay in the feel good is when you get hurt. And it's not love that hurts you. It's the choices you made that hurt you. So the only person to blame is you at the end of the day. We always want to blame, oh, my parents. Oh, she did, he did, they did. But you stepped in, fully feeling, maybe not fully knowing, but fully feeling the discord, the unalignment. When I get into an argument with people nowadays, and mostly in my relationships, I now recognize my me in that argument. I recognize the pain that's within me that I have not come to terms with because of something that may have happened 10, 15 years ago. We so live in our past. And is it still February? This is Black History Month, is it not? As well as the 400 years in slavery. Right. And there's stories around that too. I don't live there anymore in Black history. I live in the Black present. I live in Black love. I live in Black creation. The three, oh my God, I can't count. People get the bourbon here, it's very good. It is very good. I don't even know what type of bourbon it is, but it's good. The reason why I don't want to go back, I say you honor your past, you honor your ancestors, yes, but you honor them for where they brought you here now. In that honoring, if you do not continue to move forward, then you have dishonored your history. So you do remember, but you remember to bring it forward. There's certain cultures that we don't even hear about their history anymore, but when I was growing up, and I'm 52 years old, when I was growing up, that's right, 52. When I was growing up, there was a celebration for a certain culture, what they went through in Germany. And I said, how come we don't hear about that anymore? Because they've honored their past to move forward. And so we have to do the same in terms of a culture of people who we are. But I digress. Love, if we really feel that we want to leverage love in our lives, and we want relationships that we want to have, we can have them. They're right around the corner. They're literally in your current state. It's how you vibrate. When Mimi's singing or anybody's singing, the people downstairs, they're vibrating right now. Whether they're vibrating consciously or not is another story. But they're vibrating. And we don't understand how that vibration works within our lives. Things have changed for us in this current state of culture because certain vibrations are trying to stay alive and other vibrations are trying to rise. And I don't know how many people are actually paying attention to the differences of the vibration that was 10 years ago versus the struggle that we're vibrating through right now. And I'm metaphysical, quantum physics, and holistic wrapped in one. And this right here has a vibration, a very high vibration. And if we honor it, then we'll know what we're actually going through. So I want to ask, now that we've kind of opened up the conversation, I really want to know from the audience, what is love? What is it? And it can come, everybody's on their own particular journey. But I want you to walk away with the knowledge of knowing what love is for you. Because in asking for, I'm assuming, are you guys married? You're together. You're not married. Not cool. You got something coming, girl. No pressure, though. No pressure. No pressure. You don't have to be married by a certain age. Okay, you can't do it out there. Uh-oh. You got something? You might want to buy the book. You're young enough.
Well, go ahead.
But I just want to know. Well, I want to ask you. I mean, you guys are vocal, and you seem like you're kind of aligned with your thoughts. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it took some time after that to happen.
So how long have you been? How long have you been seeing each other? A year and a few days. In a few days. Do you have a vibration with each other? You feel? A vibration.
I believe when it comes to relationships and stuff like that, I believe that we believe in like different types of different levels of love. Yes.
He asked if there's, when it comes to relationships, are there different levels of love?
So when we was friends before and stuff like that, you start to get like that. She's a singer, a musician, and it happened like that. We were just vibing together from that time. But then we just happened to get together. But during the first couple of months, probably the first 3, 4 months, 5 months, you would say, I love you, right? It's because you really have that feeling of like you care for the person and all that kind of stuff. So that's like this one level of love. Now, as you continue and grow with each other, you see what she likes, what she knows how much she likes, what she don't like. You learn more about each other, and then now when the trust comes in, the love gets even stronger. You know what I'm saying?
He said when the trust comes in, the love gets stronger.
That's right. But you gotta analyze it in that kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I can't really put all my what do they say, like eggs in one basket. Just from experience. Like you put yourself out there to get really hurt. But you just have to pay attention to signs and get to know the flags and you have to know that y'all compatible and you could deal with. I could deal with her, she could deal with me. And what we have is that we could talk through anything. We don't really argue as much or nothing like
That's a
that.
beautiful thing.
It sounds like he's talking about like the 7 loves that you're talking about. Like there's the friendship type of love,
Right.
there's the pragmatic type of love, there's just like agape, all around love, you just love the person, and there's eros, there's all these different levels, and I think like that's a conversation to be had that should be also had in the home where people explain that there are different types of attractions that you can have for people, and that you should try to line them all up. You can have I always say I'm a sapiosexual, so I love an intelligent conversation. But if you have an intelligent conversation but I don't like your ways, I can be attracted to your intelligent conversation and know that we're not supposed to get into anything deeper than these types of conversations. You have people who are physically attracted to other people, but they don't have the conversation, they don't have the practical living, they don't have the friendship. So you can say, it's okay for you to be physically attracted to that person, but that doesn't mean you can build an entire relationship around that. You can go ahead and say, I can admit it, I'm physically attracted to this person, but it goes no further than that, let me just move on.
And that's where the conversation.
Right, because what's happening is people feel a certain type of attraction toward another person and think that is it. Now we can move forward, we can jump in it, and it's an immature decision. It's an immature way of loving, instead of saying, okay, we've had the conversation, we can be each other's company and not have a conversation and still be okay. We can go to different places, we can go out, I can introduce them to my friends and my family, and everything is still comfortable. And even when it's not comfortable, I like the way that they resolve conflict. We resolve conflict together very well. So if you're going through all the different types of attractions and you're evolving and continuously growing, then I think that it's important for people who are teaching us about love to say, if you can go through this, and this, and if you're feeling this on all these levels, you should think about moving forward with this person. But that's not something that I know this is something that I was taught. In our household, it was like, stay away from that boy.
Well, too, you gotta think about the era.
Conversation, my entire teenage
Right, and listen, Southern background. And then I think I tell Nico about it all the time, where it was stay away from, and then when you turn 16, 17, 18, it's like, well, why aren't you dating? Wait a minute, you warned me. You told me for 17 years to stay away from this person and these types of people, and now all of a sudden you want me to jump into something, and in those 17 years you weren't having the conversation about it.
Right.
You weren't saying.
But in the evolution of time, I think we need to start having the conversation.
Absolutely.
Because you have to look at where they came from.
Right.
And went from field to house,
right,
to church to house.
And my parents were together for 31 years, so you demonstrated that you should be in relationship, but you never had the conversation about the origin and how it grew and what you've been through.
So what do you feel about divorces?
Divorces?
Divorces.
Oh, divorce. I was going to say, is there other voices out there?
I know more about you than you think.
No, there was no voice. Wow, that topic has so many different levels to it as well, because of the different reasons why divorces happen. And divorces happen because of who we choose, or people stop growing together. Because not all divorces are painful and...
Well, they're having parties these days.
Right, not that they were painful. But there are amicable divorces where people just realize, we were just never supposed to be together. Like they finally realize, we're great friends, but you're just not a good husband. Along with, maybe I just need to find out who I am. I think
the divorces work because it is the person loving self. If you're saying, I don't want to be here anymore, hey, we all get divorced if you think about it. There's just no paper between us. Because if you did not get divorced, you would actually still be in a relationship with the person that you were with when you were 15.
No, I met someone who's influential in my life, and she talked to me about, there were at least 5, 6, 7 different times where she wanted to leave her husband. And for no other, she was like, I don't know, I just wanted to leave. And the only thing that kept me there was because she's Jewish and he's Christian. She said, the only thing that kept me there is that everyone kept saying, they'll never end up together, they'll never work, they're gonna divorce. And she said, that's the only thing that made me stay, because I wanted to prove them wrong.
That's not good.
Right, no, but even now, 55 years into the marriage, she says, no, you know what, there was no one else for me. I was just going through these growing spurts where I just, it was a feeling that she was experiencing, that she just wanted to leave. She had no real reason to leave. And so they could have gotten the divorce, but they didn't. They worked through it. So I don't think that it's always something that you should do based on, and she's not the only person that I've heard say this. So I don't think that divorce is right for everyone. And sometimes people, you're just in an emotional state. and they just want to just leave and they want to go away. They want to have some time off to themselves. And most of the people that experience that, they got married very young, and they still didn't know themselves. So in the midst of growing and trying to get to know who you are, you feel like, you know what, I just want to be out of this. I don't want this commitment anymore. You do have the choice to leave, or you might end up with a partner that supports that and says, listen, you got to grow, but you are who I chose, and I'm here with you. And they work through it, and they still stand 50, 55, 60 years later. So divorce has so many reasons. There's so many things that, that we have to take a whole other night. This is not the night for that conversation. Nico, you have something to say?
Well, no, I recently heard a teaching on soulmates, and they were talking about the 5 keys to finding your soulmate. And one of the keys that they said, you need to know who you are. You need to be complete in yourself, because when you come together with another person, that person is supposed to complement you. So if you're not complete in yourself, number one, you're in a codependent situation. And what happens is, once you do come into your complete self, the person that you've chosen may or may not be compatible with the vision that with the vision that you're living now.
Right.
So that's why I said, so when you say divorce, if you're in a state like that, where you've chosen your mate based on your incomplete self, and you come to your complete self, and this person doesn't complement your vision, then it may be that you need to step away, or that you don't complement their vision. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you can't really, divorce is what it is, and I don't think it needs to be judged or whatever, because when 2 people decide not to be together, that's really not a decision that anyone else needs to have any input into. That's what they need to do at that time,
And that's, go ahead.
No, I know a wise old woman that says, yeah, sometimes relationships, they either work or they don't work, whether you're married, single, whatever. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. And you figure out whether it's not working, and and you decide. It's not always, like you said, it's not always
A big fight
painful
that
or
happens,
tumultuous. It's just like, oh, this is not, and if you know yourself, this is not really working for me. Or another person says it's not really working for me. Okay, well, let's not belabor it. Or if you want to work it out, say, and say, okay, let's try to work it out.
Well, a part of it too is love is not a contract. And that's where I'm going with it. Love is not a contract. Marriage is a contract. The state laws are a contract. And so that's why I said, you can be with somebody. I've divorced many times without paper. I've been through 16 relationships that did not work for me. And that's all that is. And I'm friends with 14 of them still. One of them is my best friend. So we go in and out. It's a flow. It's an ebony flow. It's a finding. And so in that definition of love, we've got to say marriage doesn't make love.
No.
You can only make love with self. I'm not talking about the masturbation part of it. I'm just saying.
He just wants to be clear.
I'm wrong with you. I can talk about anything and everything. There is no limit. There's no line in the sand.
We got lines.
I know.
Just lines for you today.
There might be lines for people, but I don't have mine. You can ask. Right. You can ask me right. Do I need to? But see, that's a part of the conversation. I think we're missing a lot of things. There's so many things that are going on that think, we should keep our children with. The children are coming with the questions. And so the children are exposed to more than maybe you want to talk about, but if you're not open to it, then, so conversation comes down to trust. Conversation comes down to faith. And love actually comes down to knowing who you are. And with that, can we just close with, just read the last paragraph in the book. Chapter 7. Chapter 7 talks about the future of love. And then we'll close out with Mimi, and then I'll raffle off these phenomenal gifts that we have. And I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want you to give yourselves a hand clap, because you are the guests for the evening. Thank you.
the final paragraph from chapter 7, The Future of Love. I wish to all individuals in this world to be able to define love for themselves. I hope for their ability to create a life that is filled with bliss, so they overflow their love into another. In doing this, it could create an order of abundance that celebrates a blissful experience, that expands the joy, that also builds a beautiful foundation for our children who are watching. In my perfect world, this could be that call. As we are awakening, we seek as one eternal source. A world shifting into the change that we want to see. Making the mission to expand the hearts of the people to a place of appreciation as a civilization and as a culture of spiritual beings in order to bring love back to its original existence. It can happen because, in the end, love will always win. Love is the strongest force that exists. When we are able to use love as a force of nature, we will become the true essence and purpose of life.
All right, thank you, Cynthia. Give Cynthia a hand clap for reading for me this evening. My mission and my purpose in life is to allow love to flow and to grow. To open up the conversation on the floor, open up the floor to the conversation of love so that we can get back to a place where we originally come from. As babies, we were born into this world loving purely with full trust. And we've grown out of that through our lives experience, but to grow back into finding that place of self as we pass through this life, through this journey. So it's kind of funny how we go in and we're going to come out. There will be a day when we're sitting on our deathbed looking back at the life that we led. We're looking at everything that we've done and everything that we did not do. And we'll be questioning what our journey was for. If you live purely as who you are and who you want to be, then you will actually end your life in love. Thank you. Mimi Spence will come back to the floor, close it out on a high note. Yes. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Are you all having a wonderful evening?
Yes.
Y'all show up quiet over there. Y'all not responding. You're not asking no questions, nothing. What's wrong?
I thought that was gonna be the rowdy table. They just quiet.
I know. Some of y'all too. Y'all just quiet.
I need some more love.
Except for this is over there. I love you. She give a little back. Y'all just. Oh, y'all eating. I'm sorry. So I would love. Like, there are so many people watching right now, and I just found out that one of my cousins or my cousins in England are watching. Hello, across the pond. I love you all. Andrew. So we're gonna do this. Thank you all for coming out and supporting. My daughter's in the house. Thank you, Cammy. I love you. If you know it, sing along. If y'all know it, sing along. I will know you anyway. Even if you cannot say, I think you are the one for me. Here is where you want to be. I just want to satisfy, 'cause you're not mine and I can't deny it. Yeah. Don't you hear me talking, baby? Just love me now or I'll go crazy. Oh, sweet thing. Don't you know you're my everything? Oh, sweet thing.
Don't you know you're my everything? Yes, you are. I wish you were my lover, but you act so much better. I love you, child, my hope. I'm going to be right, I'll be wrong. I'm only what you make me live. Don't walk away, I'll be so ashamed. Don't want to find, don't want somebody. Burn my sin, it makes sound funny. Oh, sweet day, my everything. Oh, sweet day. Don't you look at my everything? Just you yes, you are, baby. Cause you're not mine, I can't deny it. Don't you hear me? Love me now. I can't deny it. Don't you hear me talking, baby? Love me now. Can't deny it. Don't you hear me talking, baby? Love me now. I'll go crazy. I'll play a little bit. Give it up, dance. Come on, baby. Ain't hurt. Sweet day, thank you. That song is another one of mine. It's called Willow Tree. Everyone loves this song. I'm so excited. It's one of the chorus favorites. My daughter Cameron wrote the song with me. Give it up to Cameron. I was hanging like a willow tree, swinging back and forth, nowhere in me. Hear the whispers in the air we breathe, and the scratch of the rain between the leaves. I hear you call my name. Life's never been the same. Helping of love has free. I believe in waiting on the tree. Weeping willow tree. Weeping willow tree. Weeping willow tree. Weeping willow tree. You're misty and you feel the dew. Like a love for me and mine for you. Sifting through life's hourglass of time, and joyful surprise in you will find. I hear you call my name. Life's never been the same. Celebrate our love has free. My baby will the trees and hear you sing. Weeping willow tree. It's easy, y'all. love it. Weeping.
All right. Okay. One more time. Hey.
Yes, thank you. Y'all sound good. Willow tree.
You got singers in there.
Weeping the willow tree. Weeping willow tree. I hear you call my name. Life's never been the same. Tell me I'm happy. My dream is willow tree. We made the willow tree. Weeping the willow tree. Weeping the willow tree. Weeping the willow tree. Thank you all so much. That sounded real good. Appreciate it. Thank you, Corey. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all are awesome. Yes, thank you.
You know, believe me, one more time. Everybody got their numbers out. Did you guys get something? Did you guys get numbers? You can participate. Okay.